not be
tomorrow's
able to.
tomorrow's not guaranteed, and
No.
at this point, neither is surviving my retirement if I live to it. So it's a big gamble for sure, but it will be an adventure along the way. Speaking of, we have both done some building recently, but your update is more significant than mine for sure.
Well, you were a part of that update, so I guess hopefully anybody that's listening to this has already watched both your channel and mine and realized that you came out last Sunday. It's Sunday, right?
You're listening to We Are Not Experts, an airplane building podcast. Today's episode was recorded on Friday, December 12th, 2025, the same day Tim's camera died despite being plugged in. On this episode, the RV-8 canoe finally becomes one solid fuselage, new tailwheel parts arrive, tool shopping continues unchecked, and a Cerakote cleanup leaves Tim with what can only be described as Oompa Loompa blood on his hands. And now, broadcasting from their home studios in East Texas, where they're still not sure if this thing is recording, here are your hosts, Chris and Tim.
What is... Oh.
Yeah.
It popped up the box. I'm like, what is...
Hey, I think we're recording. And we're not going to be bobbing our heads to any music here. This is one more week of tech troubles with Chris and Tim. Oh man, we're not IT guys.
No.
By any stretch. But anyways, welcome back to lucky episode 13. This is We Are Not Experts, an airplane building podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Tim.
And this is episode 13 of what we're sure will be more than 13 episodes. Tim, how the hell are you?
I'm good. It's been a busy week. It's about to be another busy week starting tomorrow, even though tomorrow's Saturday, but busy, really, really busy. And unfortunately not.
But then you
with
just froze
airplane
up.
stuff.
It was
I
telling
haven't
me that
touched
your
the
internet
plane
was
since
good.
you were here.
Yeah. So busy week, and I lost you there for a second. Where are you headed tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, I am heading to Jordan for a few days.
Yeah.
Work-related stuff. So that'll be interesting. I don't think I'm going to see the good parts of Jordan, but I'm not sure how many good parts there are, but I'm not going to see the good parts. I've only ever been there once before, and it was in and out, and that was a long time ago. So I'm excited to see different parts of it. We'll see what we get a chance to do.
This time, when we talked the other day, it sounded like maybe there was a chance you're going to get to visit Petra. Is that fallen through?
No, there's an opportunity to do it. But we're landing at, I think it's like 11:30 at night, Sunday night. And if we're going to go to Petra, there's an opportunity to go with the other group that's going with us at like, I don't know what time they're leaving, but it's going to be first thing the following morning.
Yeah.
So that's the only part I'm not sure about, is if I'm going to feel like I really want to get up early after all of that travel and then get in a vehicle for like 6.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's
each way.
Yeah. It's worth it.
So
Because
I know, and
when's the
I'm going to
opportunity
remind
gonna-
myself of that.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, when's that opportunity going to come up again? And if it does, probably when it comes around again, it's like summer or something, and it will not be
True.
nearly as pleasant as doing it right now.
Very true. I will get the opportunity again, though. This will be a site survey visit for us to go see what we need to do, and then we'll be back for a much longer visit at some point.
Yeah. So one more thing on the topic of Jordan and Petra, and then we'll move on to what we actually came here to talk about. Have you ever ridden a camel?
I have not ridden a camel.
Okay. When there are going to be people there who are trying to get you to ride a camel, and when I went there, my boss said, I'm like, aren't you going to get on a camel? Because everybody else was. He's like, no, dude. He said, I already rode a camel. and in other words, he's like, you only need to do it once.
Yeah.
And
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I will tell you, he was right. You only need to do it once, but you do need to do it once. So go ahead and do it. And then when you're done, you'll probably be like, I did that. I'll never have to do that again.
There's a lot of stuff in my life that follows that same pattern.
Yeah. we're definitely at that point. You just made me think of something. You just reminded me of a thought that I was having on the way home this evening. Tomorrow is, I was thinking tomorrow would typically be our EAA meeting, but there isn't one because of the Christmas party,
That's right.
right? And what I was thinking about is I've been to the Christmas party 2 times, I think, and I decided this year not to go um, because there just aren't any other kids there my age. I'm only 54 years old, and yeah, I am a youngin in that group. It just made me think when you said, there are a lot of things you only have to do once. It made me think, yeah, we're getting to the point in life where we have a long list of those things, and I'm like, there's some things that still make me feel young, and one of those things is
Went to the EA
anything to do
meetings.
with our chapter. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I there's a very big divide. Like
Mm.
us and maybe a few others that are kind of close, and then there's much older and there's much younger.
yeah.
There's
Yes,
not a lot
much
in
younger,
between.
like people who are aspiring, and then there are much older who have retired and they did they did it right. Uh, so they finished with money and airplanes, and they're able to run around with them. And then there are a few people like us who um, maybe stand no chance of retiring with money and airplanes because we're trying to build one right now when we should be saving for retirement.
Not be able to.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and
No.
at this point, neither is surviving my retirement if I live to it. So it's a big gamble for sure, but it will be an adventure along the way. Speaking of, we have both done some building recently, but your update is more significant than mine for sure.
Well, you were a part of that update, so I guess hopefully anybody that's listening to this has already watched both your channel and mine and realized that you came out last Sunday. It was Sunday, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think it was Sunday. He came out last Sunday, and we managed to get the rest of the riveting done for the canoe of the fuselage. I won't say the whole fuselage because there's still a lot more that has to go, the turtle deck and a bunch of other stuff inside. But yeah, the bulk of the fuselage is permanently together,
Yeah.
never to come apart again. And awesome. I mean, I really appreciate the help, and we definitely kind of started figuring it out towards the end, especially the whole we had it upside down and we were going through it thinking we were going to leave it that way because that's what the plans say basically is to leave it upside down until you're done and then flip it over,
Yeah.
and then you can add the caps and a bunch of other stuff. And we were fighting in that tail end because it's really hard to get up in there because it's so tight when you get back to the very tail cone. And then you're like, why don't we just flip it over? It's like, oh yeah, we can do that easily.
Yeah. I think that the lesson is um, in anything that we do or anybody who's out there and working on a build, the questions, the plans are a great guideline, but always just pause and think, is there a better way? Like we're going to run through riveting the entire fuselage, but every few feet when it gets uncomfortable, just take a moment and think, what would it be better if we swapped out the orientation or something like that? Because there were many opportunities, many more opportunities, I think, to do it a little bit more comfortably or give you a better view when you're trying to buck rivets than what we did. But
Yeah.
sometimes we get locked into a flow.
Like I thought about it after the fact, but the very last thing we did, which everybody who watched the video got to see a very small part of it because the camera died.
Yeah.
But the very last section was that aft row of rivets that holds the center spar section down. And
Uh-huh.
we had flipped it back upside down for that because I could easily get under there.
Right.
And I mean, it wasn't a big deal to have to hold the bucking bar above my head and do it that way.
Are you saying
But we
could
also
just
could have we could have just rotated the fuselage sideways and you could have riveted on one side and I could have
Sure.
just stuck the bucking bar in the other side. And so,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah,
That's a perfect example of that. One thing that I liked about watching that video though was because that was a few hours of riveting, and it wasn't until I watched the video to go, oh, that's what he meant. Like every time you're saying, oh, hold on a second, I gotta, and you're trying to figure out how to get the bucking bar in a tight spot. And to me, it's all a mystery. All I hear is like grunts and like, hold on a second, but I don't really know what's going on
yeah.
in there.
Well, I
So
think
Yeah.
somebody made the comment of what our rhythm was or what our routine was, and it was you would say you're on it, and then I would put the bucking bar on it and say ready, and then you
Yep.
would shoot it, and then I would pull the bucking bar off and say good, or
Yeah.
hit it again. But then there was always the on it, ready, and then there would be a few expletives of nope, I wasn't on it, or I wasn't ready, and I had the bucking bar in the wrong spot, or it slipped off, and yeah, we drilled out a
Overall, that
couple.
wasn't too many, to be honest. I mean, I think that our
No.
rhythm was pretty good because there would be some long stretches where it was just bang, 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 bang.
Oh yeah.
And then I think doing enough of it, I could definitely tell when you weren't on it, like when we missed. But also, I know that we say, both of you and I both agree on this, that when you're driving like the dash 4 rivets, you can hear it and feel it when they're set. Like you don't even need to look at it.
Yeah,
But
there's a
doing enough
tone
of
change.
this,
You can just
even with those
hear it.
little with those little dash 3s, even on my side of it, you can feel it when it's right.
Yep. I could do it too. Like before I even pulled it off, I knew it wasn't going to be enough.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yep. Nope. Hit it again.
Yeah.
And you just, yeah, you get into the routine. So anybody who hasn't done it, it's not as daunting as it looks because you sort it out pretty quick. You have to screw a few up first.
Yeah.
And then
And I
then you'll
think
get there.
by the time we just are, I mean, I think that we're doing pretty good at it right now, but by the time we're really locked in is the time when there will be no more rivets left to do.
Yeah.
It will just be getting
Eh.
into firewall forward and doing, but almost no rivets left to drive. That's about the time that we'll be good at it. At least that's what we're going to tell people. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm an
Yours
expert
should
at it.
look
I just don't have
better.
any more to do.
Yours should look better from this point on because we've already gone through all this practice now on mine. So when it's
Who
time to do your
knows?
bottom skins and your fuselage,
Right.
we should.
Who knows?
We should be
Because the roles will swap then, because then I'll be bucking like an amateur.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I'll be on the outside hoping I don't
Yeah.
go skipping across the skin of your airplane. But yeah,
And I think the one thing that will be
happens.
consistent from one to the other is the amount of cursing and grumbling and groaning that goes on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those
And
don't
they don't,
those don't make the edit reels.
and yeah, they don't, I don't think that they do. I don't think that they explicitly call that out in the plans, but it is definitely part of the build.
It is absolutely part of the build.
Yeah.
If you haven't got to it yet, you will. You will
Yeah.
absolutely get to it. And it's going to be expensive probably when you do it the first time.
Mhm.
But speaking of expensive, actually I paid for this a while back, but I got a new goodie in the mail today. Well,
Oh,
I
right.
came home today from a week-long trip down at the office. But there it is for those that haven't seen it because I don't have a video on it. The tail wheel that was part of my JD Air kit came in. Fancy.
So for those of you who are not watching the video, Tim's holding up the new tail wheel for his airplane. It's very cool. It's like a 3-spoke mag wheel. Are you going to leave it like that, or are you going to put spinners on that thing?
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Get some spinners up on that, a little bling
Yeah.
going on. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. It looks really nice. I mean, it is very thin in there.
Yeah.
But it is, I guess, lightweight, solid rubber, so it's not going to go flat. I'm sure it's not going to ride very well on anything rough, but that's the tail wheel that goes with the JD Air kit that I bought. So I guess it's one thing I get to omit from my finishing kit. I don't need the tail wheel. So I have that. I have nothing to do with it right now, but at some point I will probably go out there and put it on the fork and just stick it over there just so I can look at it and
See what it
admire
looks
it.
like.
And go,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
So speaking of the finishing kit, I mean, let's see. What's the next kit for you? Is finishing kit?
Yeah. The finishing kit is next. And then I think the last thing I'll have to get from Vans, unless I decide to piece it all together, is the firewall forward kit, which I'll probably do it because it comes with the baffles but a lot of stuff in there I should be able to omit because I don't need it. I don't need a governor. I already have one on the engine. There's a bunch of other stuff with it that I shouldn't need because I'm going with SDS fuel injection. So hopefully the finishing kit won't be as spicy.
Right.
Or the firewall forward kit. Sorry, the finishing kit. The only thing I get to omit from the finishing kit, as far as I know right now, is just the tail wheel. I
Mm-hmm.
thought the main landing gear came with the finishing kit, but it doesn't. Those came with the fuselage, so I already have those, even though I'm not going to use them. So that's it. Yeah. Finishing kit is the last big one. And it's all little stuff like, avionics.
So my question is, um, are there things right now that you still need to order before the finishing kit? Like are there things that you don't have
Mm.
right now that are holding you back from the finishing kit?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I could get the finishing kit and that would allow me to finish the fuselage, but it would allow me to finish it to a point that I don't want to be finished because there's all the other stuff that has to go in it. So I think before I get to that point, I need to get, I need to get the landing gear that I'm going to swap out for.
Sure.
I
Okay.
need, because that's actually coming up sooner than later in the build. I need to get the landing gear and I need to get started on the avionics. I don't necessarily need all of them, but I need the hub, probably the adhars, and a few other key components so I can get the wiring runs in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last like plug and play components that can wait until damn near the end. Like I don't need the actual main screen or the control heads or any of the stuff that goes in the instrument panel.
Yeah.
I won't need any of that right away. I just need all the stuff to connect it and get it all laid out. So a few expensive things to get.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not too bad. I'm still hopeful that I stay on track because so far every year about the time right before summer rolls around is about the time that I drop the deposit on the next kit. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometime midsummer is usually when they tell me it's available. I mean, the fuselage, it was earlier because it was such a big lead time, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping, say, roughly like April, May timeframe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put in an order for the finishing kit, and then hopefully everything else is to the point where I need it when they tell me they want the rest of their money.
So all those other bits and pieces, I mean, minus basically the way that you described it. So minus like the control heads and the main screen and stuff like that, you hope to have those done, or not done, but in your hand, owning them before like
Before summer.
April-ish. Yeah.
Yep. I hope. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lofty financial goal, and I have some trips I need to do for work in the meantime to make that happen. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully I get there, and that'll keep everything moving at the same pace it's been moving at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to avoid that hitting a wall and then everything comes to a screeching halt because I don't have the next thing, either because I didn't plan the lead time well enough or I didn't, spread out the money requirement well enough. And I guess there's a few other things. I mean, obviously the avionics are going to be expensive. There's still a prop that needs to be had. I don't even know if Cato's making that prop yet. I know they're going to. They said they were going to. And I don't know what the lead time is going to look like on that. So I guess that's something else I need to find out before too long, just in case I have to put a deposit on that and get on a waiting list for it.
Yeah. Dang, dude, there's just so much. And
Oh, and a place to put it.
yeah, a place to put it. That seems like the least of anybody's worries right now.
It does.
By the way, my neighbors, I told you that they were building a shop back there. They did the slab like a month ago, and then on Monday, I guess it was ready, and the whole thing went up in a day, and it's huge, and I'm super jealous. I just want to drag my stuff over there before they have time to put any of their stuff in it and start building an airplane.
We need to find a hangar.
I know.
We could do a big hangar. Oh, also today, something you recommended because I was stopping there anyways.
Oh, right. Yeah.
For those that are listening and can't see, I'm holding up a pair of the Icon Nipex, whatever knockoff pliers with the smooth jaws.
Yeah.
So I could see some uses for these.
Yeah, that's a cool tool. I can't remember. I mean, I must have seen it on somebody's channel to tip me off because I hadn't been, it was after I broke my Harbor Freight addiction and I wasn't in there a lot, but I saw it on somebody else's channel and it was probably related to making a tool for dimpling in tight spots or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of tight spots,
Yeah.
got the custom yoke from Clemson Aeronautics today
you
as
did?
well.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had a chance to try it yet, and
Are
hopefully I'll
you
get a
talking
chance
about
to
this,
film it.
not the super custom one that he was making for that single
Yeah,
application around the
that
spar
was it.
box?
So basically, it's his rib dimpling tool, which mounts to a bench, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have the mount attached to it. So it
Yeah.
is a very short, stubby
Yeah.
yoke. I don't know if it's going to fit or not because now I have it. I don't have it in front of me. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
I can't show everybody, but it is very stout. Like this thing is beefy.
Mhm.
This thing would have zero flex no matter what size rivet you're trying to squeeze with it. So I don't know if it's going to fit in there or not. I'm going to give it a shot. If not, there's probably some other places that I'll find a use for it, but we're going to give it a shot. I don't know if that's going to happen before I leave. Probably not. It'll be maybe next week when I get back and
Yeah.
do some other stuff that we'll get a video of that and see how that works out. But appreciate him modifying that thing and sending it to me to give it a shot and see if it'll work.
Yeah.
And
Do
maybe
you
it
want to
will.
talk a little bit about is it Hisham?
It's Hisham with Clemson
Hisham and
Aeronautics. Yeah.
Clemson Aeronautics, because I did end up talking to him the other day, and I had
Super
been
nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you had done some stuff with him, and I had seen his stuff popping up. Um, I think other places like on Slink Air's channel,
Yep, he
and
has some of his yokes and a
yeah.
few other things.
So I had a long talk with him the other day, and he's sending me some stuff to try out, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I did go back and I watched. I think Slink Air. I think his name is Brandon. I'm not sure,
Brandon. Yep.
but we
That's
should get him
Brandon.
on here as a guest. That'd be fun.
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
We need to get some guests on here.
Yeah, for sure. So he's on the short list for me. There are definitely people. The first people I think of right now are him and Ryan.
Ryan,
Austin
yep.
Mankey would be fun to have on the channel. He's pretty deep into that thing.
And we know you're all listening, so reach out if
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we have 21 subscribers, and we know that you are a third of them.
That's right. You got to be out there. Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be awesome to have guests on here as well.
Yeah.
And those would be some good ones to start with. Yes, he did get some of his stuff from Clemson Aeronautics. And
I gotta say though, man, the squeezer body, the body to the squeezer that he has, that thing is the size of his entire forearm. From the, I mean like from his elbow to the tips of his fingers. That thing is huge. And one thing that Hisham said was, he was suggesting that for those purposes that I set up the squeezer with a foot pedal. He's like, you can get one. I'm like, I actually have one. And like, Tim literally just gave me one a couple days ago. So yeah, I'm all about it.
Yep.
So for the
like
for like the rib dimpling function, and then also for, I forget what he calls it. Well, I'll know when I get it, but the C-frame sort of, CAD one. Yes.
CAD one. Yeah. It's the C-frame, basically the C-frame I have. I think it's the updated version.
Yeah.
But it has the mount on the front, so you can mount the squeezer to it, just like I do. And then I guess you just, I don't know if you zip tie or whatever you do with that thumb thing on I don't know how your squeezer works.
Yeah.
But you set it down and then you hook it up to a foot pedal so you can just operate it the same way I do mine.
That's the thing, of all the things that I've seen of his, that was the thing that I was most interested in. Well, when you're doing it, just having two hands on the skins while you're dimpling them.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it's got to be like for you to have to do that one-handed, because it is just so stupid easy to hold on to it with two hands. Even little parts, just being able to manipulate them while the thing sits on the bench and run them through. It's just so quick and easy. And I don't even think about it, but yeah, I looked at, Brandon with that massive squeezer and yours, and I've held on to, yours when I was in your shop and picked it up. That thing's not light. That's got to suck after a while of holding on to it.
Yeah. When you're like dimpling long rows of ribs, or spars like the aft spar or the wing, something like that. Yeah, it gets a little grippy after a while. And I would say that looking at Brandon's squeezer, I bet that thing is 2 pounds heavier than the one that I have. That would get old for sure. But I'm
It'll squeeze the mother of all rivets.
Yeah. I'm so picky about the way that the way that the dies are oriented in the DRDT2,
Mhm.
the dimpling device, when it comes to dimpling skins, because I created a bonus hole early on.
Yeah. So
Um,
did I.
and so being able to, there's more freedom to do what you do, which is you kind of flip them to whichever way is convenient, because you're going to be holding the material with two hands. So you have much less worry about that thing jumping on you the, uh, right as the die comes in.
And
That
sometimes you
being,
have to.
yeah,
There's
right.
just no way around it.
That being said, I've not done it yet, so I don't really know yet what um, how much ability you have to tease that trigger with your foot. You don't have as fine motor controls with your foot as you do, with your thumb on the trigger. So
Yeah, I don't know what your squeezer's like in response to that. I've gotten pretty good at it. I can
yeah,
feather mine, just get it to start moving, and I'll see the ram move a little bit, so I know I'm there, and then it's just nice and slow until I
yeah,
get it where I need to, which I don't normally have to do except when like I'm squeezing a rivet and I'm like half on it and you need it to come together to get the rest of the way on it. So you got to go real slow until it's straight
yeah,
and then you can squeeze it.
yeah,
Um, but that's those really tight spots. Otherwise, it's not it's not too bad. But I'm
yeah.
excited that you're getting it. I'm excited to see you set it up and use it with the other squeezer because I'm curious how that looks and what that's going to be like for you because you still have your bottom wing skins all that need to be done, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I need to, so what we did this week, or what I did this week, and with your help, was I finished up those aileron push tubes. So to recap for anybody who was paying attention, um, what a weird saw. I know I can't be the only person who had this much trouble. I mean, I know that it's super hard to set those rivets. So
They screw me.
just a reminder that these are steel tubes that are half-inch diameter, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Um,
about that.
and then on each end we have a threaded rod end that gets pressed into that, and then you drill through the tube and the rod end in two different spots, like offset by 90 degrees, and then you rivet it on. You rivet it on. What could be so hard about that?
Except the
I mean,
rivet is
they are really long rivets, but at the end of the day, I mean, the tail of the rivet that you're squeezing is always basically the same dimension coming out. But for whatever reason, when you try to squeeze or drive that rivet, they love to fold over.
the,
So
the
then,
the push pull tube will spin out of your hand or try and twist one
yeah,
way and the rivet will go the other and yeah.
yeah. So then, by the way, it's been so long since we talked about this, but I went to the airport, and those guys all gather up at lunch at one guy's hangar, and so I talked to them the different ways that guys did it. Several guys, at least two of them, they sort of, the way they described it, they basically back riveted it with a hammer. So they
Just
got it locked in
the
really
hammer under
tight. Yeah, put a die behind. These are universal rivets. So they put the cup
which
set on the other side, and they just beat the crap out of it with a hammer
which
to,
makes sense because the
yeah,
rivet's not really holding it there. The rivet's
yeah,
just keeping any potential from it walking out from coming out
yeah,
because those are so tightly pressed in that damn thing. Even if the rivet wasn't there, I don't think they'd come out.
yeah. So,
But
one of the things that the plans say that if you don't rivet it, you can weld it. And in my mind, before you ever drill those holes, the only logical place to weld it would be the seam where the collar of the throtted end meets the end of the tube. And it's a pretty narrow little seam. And I'm not a welder. I have a welder, but I'm not a welder. And so I kind of asked around from people who knew what they were doing, and it just didn't seem like it was a good idea. Like it just wouldn't turn out well. But
yeah,
then it occurred to me later
tiny.
that I have these tubes that, so basically what I did is I got some Cherry Max rivets, and I redid one with Cherry Max rivets. It turned out great. I redid another one. They turned out terrible. And I'll explain why I think that the second one turned out terrible. There's a prep step that you have to do with Cherry Max rivets before you ever use them. There's a little process you have to do to lubricate. You kind of have to carefully drive the mandrel out a little bit, and then apply some like WT-40 or something like that. Let it soak in there so that it is sufficiently free moving when you go to pull it, to pull the rivet, so it'll set completely. And I think that when I came back and I did the second one, there had been a time gap. And by that, I mean like my kind of time gap, like not a few days, but like a few months. And when I came back, I didn't go, I forgot that I had needed to do that before it. So they didn't set properly. They're kind of crappy. I'm like, great, I get to do these again for like a third time. And when I was thinking about removing them, it just occurred to me, I have these rods that have these holes drilled in them, so I don't have to. The idea of welding around that seam was no longer there. It's like, oh, I can put some filler inside these holes instead of these rivets. I have some 1/8 inch steel rod. I can put that in there and then do little plug welds in those holes. So that's what I did. And you don't have to be a very good welder to do that. As long as you have the settings dialed in on the welder. I mean, you're not doing a long seam. These are basically just a few tack welds. It came out great. And then we went over to your place. A little bit of comedy, I suppose. Like, I thought for whatever reason, it happened. The first tube that I did when I was cleaning it up with some acetone, I went right through the powder coating, which
took it off.
I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything. You guys know this. If you watch my channel, you watch anything I do. If I'm trying something, it's probably something I've never done before and I know nothing about, because I get bored quickly. So you'll very often see me do anything that I'm actually good at. Because once I'm good at it, I get bored and I try something else to ruin. So I'm like, well, I don't know anything about chemicals and powder coating, and I just know that that's what that's called. So then we had the idea, you've been doing the Cerakote stuff. Hey, let's strip these off and then Cerakote them instead of using the powder coat, since I already had to clean off the ends where the welding was going to occur. Acetone doesn't take off powder coating. It
No,
doesn't.
apparently it does not.
Did, but
if it's
it
on
doesn't.
correctly.
Yeah. Instead,
maybe you had a thin spot. That's it.
Yeah. So Tim, so you got that powder coating cabinet a couple weeks ago, destroyed the inside of your brand new car with it. Or sandblasting cabinet. Sorry. Yeah. So I went over to Tim's shop, and before we got to riveting on the canoe, we're like, oh, really quickly, we'll just knock off this powder coating and then you'll scuff them up and hit it with some Cerakote. We did it. I recorded it. It's in the video. It's very quick because I sped up the video by a factor of 20. It was like 28 minutes in the cabinet to strip the powder coat off of these things. But it's done. And then Tim was kind enough to hook me up with some of his Cerakote and his little sprayer and set it all up for me. I was thinking about it today. So Tim got this crazy kind of safety orange color. To me, it reminds me of the Coast Guard orange. And I thought, well, we talked about it before, but that'd be kind of a fun color to do these push tubes. You're only going to see them if your head's inside the wing, or if the aileron is at full deflection, you might see like a half an inch of it, barely, in there. So I'm like, that'd be kind of cool to do it that way. But what I was thinking, we did it all up, and then we're getting ready to go to lunch, and you decided to get me all set up to do everything, but didn't put any gloves on yourself. And your hands looked like, by the time I got in the cleanup, your hands looked like you had just murdered an Oompa Loompa with your bare hands. Like you slapped the crap out of him and choked him, and this is what you're left with. And there's no way you're going to be able to tell the cops you didn't do it, because it's all over your hands. You had this bright Oompa Loompa orange all over your hands.
Wasn't even thinking about it, because I was like, oh, you're going to do all the dirty stuff. And then I took the gun from you to clean it when it was over, and not even thinking about all the leftover Cerakote that was going to be deep inside the gun when I went to clean it, and just all over my hands.
Yeah.
Did come off. Nothing's no more Oompa Loompa evidence left, but yeah, they came out nice too. I thought it went down pretty good, and it looked really good considering you'd never sprayed anything before. So,
yeah, I think that they turned out good. They're still, by the way, because it's me, they're still in the backseat of my truck where they were when I left your house on Sunday.
Well, they should be good and cured by now. So.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be 24 to 48 hours for them to reach full cureness, but they're dry to the touch. I mean, you saw right after that we went to lunch because that's important. And by the time we came back, they were dry enough to take out of that rack and move them off to the side. So Cerakote, some
I
fun
mean,
stuff.
really, they're fine to stay in the back seat for now. I don't have anything to do with him other than I probably should have taken him out, pulled the tape off the threads, and then taken a few pictures to put in the video. In fact, I said that I would do that in my next video because I was too lazy to do it in this video. But other than that, that little part of the project is done. And that was a good, because it's been so long, more than 6 months, that was just a good little hard to F up project to do to get me back into it. So I need to finish up the left flap. And I had all the parts I needed to redo it. So I'll get into that and then start taking a look at what I actually need to do for, I think after the left flap is done, what I'm left with is, well, two major things. Wiring up the wings with whatever needs to go in there. That's a very general term, wiring up and plumbing the wings. I know you did it, and I could look at other people do it, but I don't know what the hell I'm putting in there. And then the other thing is, I still have to fix those leaks in the fuel tanks. But before we do that, might as well just go ahead and leak test them because it's been a couple years and see if it's sprung any new leaks before I get into it.
Or maybe it magically sealed itself.
Yeah, very unlikely. Very unlikely.
Very, very unlikely. It's still in the back of my mind too. Like I know mine were sealed when I checked them last, but I think before I put fuel in them for the first time ever, I'm probably gonna hook the balloon back up again and just give them one more leak check again, just to make sure nothing new popped up. Although I'll probably cry if something new popped up because I'm so beyond that, and I definitely don't have any ProSeal that's legitimately good for fuel tank sealing at this point.
I've
It's
got
good for other stuff.
I've got oodles of ProSeal that is good for every other purpose than doing that. Because I have a brand new unopened one that I bought like a year ago that I was going to come back and do those fuel tanks. Like, no,
And it's no longer valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
For anybody listening that's not gotten to their fuel tanks yet, I know Van says you can get, what is it, a quart? Is that what it comes in? Or I can't, I think it's a quart.
A quart, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so
that's
you
right.
get a quart of the sealant with the activator that goes with it. And that should be enough to do your fuel tanks. In a perfect world, I think that's a true statement.
It was for me.
I've gone through one full one.
Yeah.
It would have been enough if I didn't have leaks.
Yeah.
I went through one full one and I had a cartridge because I had I like my tools. I had the little applicator gun, which definitely I think made the rear baffle easier. But I went through one cartridge and I went through that one quart, whatever it was. And then I had leaks. And by the time I got around to getting them fixed, I didn't have enough left and it was starting to get near its shelf life. So I ended up getting another quart of it. And since then, I've probably used at least half of that other quart. Not just fixing the fuel tanks, but there's a whole lot of other crap along the way.
Yeah, you've used it
You'll
for
either
other
use
stuff.
it for, you'll either use it for or you're going to use it. Like, you don't hear about it or they tell you about it early on, but the entire firewall gets sealed with ProSeal between the cabin side of the skins and the firewall, which, makes sense. You want it
Isn't that what that stuff actually is? I mean,
fume-proof
what's the name of
foolproof.
it? I mean, we call it ProSeal, but it's not.
No, it's, what is it? FireGuard or
Yeah.
no, not
yeah.
FireGuard. Is it?
I mean, it's something like that. Like the name of
it's
it
a
is actually
fireproof, fuel-proof sealant, something or another to keep bad stuff on one side and good stuff on the other.
Right. Well,
And
let's see. I still have some left over from when I did my tanks, and my tanks aren't leaking like a sieve, but they have a couple of pinpoints in there. So I stuck really closely to the video that Vans put out that Scott, whose last name escapes me right now, but the way that he did, that's probably one of the videos that I've viewed more than any other on YouTube. I watched that thing over and over again.
And the one I did just like that is the one that leaked, and the one I added extra stuff to didn't leak. So
yeah.
But it was just the baffle, is the rear baffle, which I know is the thing that everybody has the problems with.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when I did it, I just didn't get that bead high enough up so that when I pushed the rear baffle in, it actually smeared into it and made a good seal. Because it was only one side.
It's been so long, but for me, the worry with the rear baffle is you're worried about putting too much in and then clogging up that little channel on
Oh yeah, the pass through where the fuel's got to be able to slosh between the
yeah,
baffles and
exactly.
whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if I clogged that up or not. When I
Oh,
did the
you know
second
what?
one, I did a bead on both and pushed them together, hoping that the ProSeal would grab each other and make a
Yeah.
good seal.
I just thought of something. Gosh, I wish I remember where I saw it. It must have come up on YouTube or something, but it was somebody's video. I wish I could find it now. Somebody's video of like their, like a photo montage of their RV8 build. And there were a couple of frames in there where they did the whole flop tube thing, but they did something really weird with the little flap that you have to make between the first and the second bay. Um, they didn't make a flap. They like closed it. Like they sealed it completely.
Okay,
It,
why?
I know. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, really strange. It caught my attention. Maybe, hopefully YouTube's listening right now and
There you go.
they'll throw it back in my suggested so I can find it and we can look at it again. Um, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've been getting a lot of old stuff that I've seen before popping up in my YouTube recently, like old candle. I'm tired. Andrew Kilroy videos.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's because
yeah,
we were talking about it.
it's funny. It's like not only we talk about it, but it's stuff that we didn't talk about. Like the video that popped up yesterday that I ended up watching again was him creating the mounting bracket for, I'm probably getting the terminology wrong, but for the GMU11, the magnetometer. He's putting his magnetometer, you've probably watched his videos, but it's all the way, it's in the wingtip.
Yeah,
So it's
that's where mine's
mounted.
at.
Oh, it is like on the outside of the outboard
Yep,
rib. And then
yep.
what he
Mine
did,
is mounted on the outboard rib of the wingtip.
okay,
It's under the fairing, the wingtip fairing.
interesting. I didn't, well, now I'm going to go back and watch your videos again because for some reason I thought you had it mounted inside the wing, like much
Nope.
closer.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's out there. In fact, that was the determining factor in my temp probe is already mounted to the wing.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I put it where it is because for the Dynon system, you can there's a connector, you can just plug the temp probe into the magnetometer and it'll send the signal back through the one cable.
Mhm.
So I just picked that bay out there next to where the magnetometer was, the next bay over, just arbitrarily picked a hole near the rib,
Yeah.
made a hole in it, put a doubler in, stuck the temp probe in there, and it's wired up to the magnetometer, which is it's not mounted to the wingtip right now. It's still in the box, but the mount for it is all made and
Okay.
in place and ready to go.
That's probably
Or
why
no, maybe it is mounted in there.
yeah.
No, I don't think it is. I don't know. I can't remember because I made the aluminum mount for it. I bought the brass screws, all the other stuff
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember all
do it
that. Probably the
upright.
reason I kind of blanked on it was because you kind of did all that stuff. But in my mind, when I was watching you do all the wingtip stuff, I don't see that box sitting there. As you're going back and forth and putting the wingtip on and off. But one thing interesting that Andrew did was for the mount, he made like a long track so that he could actually do one of two things. If he was getting some magnetic interference in one position, he could slide it back into a different position. And the second thing that he could do is if he decided that he wanted a backup magnetometer, he has enough room there for two on there,
Okay.
which is and that was one of the reasons he did it. The other reason he did it was because I think that he said the instructions said specifically that once this thing is mounted up, where it's mounted has to be able to handle 20 pounds of pressure on there. And he didn't want that load just on one, like one piece of that rib in between lightning holes. So he decided to distribute the load by using a longer track to mount it. But
I don't remember mine saying anything about that, but I'm sure it's probably good for. I mean, it's Dynon instead of Garmin, so. But I'm sure it's probably good for something similar because I was thinking about the weight moment that it was going to have to experience out there.
yeah,
But I think it's pretty tough. The only thing I don't have that I kind of wish I did, but I've got a way around it, is if I have to adjust it because I didn't get it straight or level, um, I don't have a lot for that. I left one thing undone. The holes for the bracket that hold it up, I didn't drill holes for those yet.
Mhm.
That I was waiting on until it was mounted to the plane so I could account for any dihedral or something like that I didn't get correct. But it is aligned perfectly straight with the rib, which should be straight with the plane. And it's level with the nose of the rib to the tail.
Yeah.
So that part should be good. If I have to adjust those, then the only way I have now to do it is get some aluminum washers and just shim one
Mhm.
side of it up or the other. I'm not sure how super critical it's going to be, but I mean, we won't know until I go out there and actually calibrate the thing.
Right.
And even then,
Well,
I'm going to be holding the tail of the plane up while I spin it around to go, it's got to be at flight level.
So as far as calibration goes, I mean, it seems to me like we live in a digital world. There are one of two things you can do. You can mechanically change the orientation of the thing, or you can digitally adjust how it reads, right?
Think to legally certify it to say you did the compass check, I think you physically have to take it out onto a compass rose and manipulate the airplane.
Yeah.
I think that's how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
I'm not sure if there's a requirement. I'm not instrument rated right now, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet there's some requirements you got to jump through for that. Same reason we have to have a certified, GPS navigator or
Yeah.
certified navigator at all instead of something that, could be made half the price for experimentals.
Right. But what I'm saying is I would assume that like within the software that runs all this stuff, you can say, oh, it's consistently,
Oh, I know
3
what you mean.
degrees
Yeah.
east. Yeah, we can calibrate it so that
Null
that
that
comes back.
back out.
Exactly.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you probably can.
Yeah.
I'll bet you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason I even put it out there was because I think Joe recommended it.
Yeah.
I was talking about
I
putting
was
my
thinking about you were talking about, because there's something I was thinking about also, just the weight moment of that thing out there. And it's probably much smaller than I imagine it, because
it's pretty small.
Here's my general thought in aviation is, as we're working on all kinds of stuff and we're building things, or we're watching videos, or we're sitting down with X-Plane 11 and simming and whatever like that. Then we get in the airplane and you go, I'm a freaking giant. All this stuff is way tinier than I thought it was. So it's probably a much smaller thing out there. But which wingtip do you have it in?
It is in the right wingtip.
In the right wingtip. So the
Yep.
weight moment would probably be most dramatic, like at the initiation of a roll on the wing that's turning up. So if you just do all of your aileron rolls to the right, gravity
Oh, yeah,
will
there you go.
gravity
Gravity.
will help with the beginning of that acceleration. And by the time it starts coming around the other side up, it's already kind of in motion. You're not accelerating it at that very much at that point. So just do all your aileron rolls. Do your really aggressive ones. Just do them to the right. In fact, it might even help.
And I mean, the only reason, not that we're talking ounces probably, not that it matters, but the only reason it's there is in my head trying to balance out the weight between the wings, because the left wing has the roll servo in it, which is going to be heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and the pitot tube. The right wing has the magnetometer, which is all the way out on the wingtip, even though it's not as heavy. It's got more moment on it, so it's all the way out there. Plus, the magnetometer needs to be kept away from any electrical noise, away from any ferrous metal. So I don't have the heater power going through there for the pitot probe, because it's on the other side of the wing. I don't have any other power wires or anything. I also have two conduit runs in both of my wings. One I use for power, the other one is what signal wires will go through, and they're separated by a couple of feet so that hopefully there's no interference between the two. And then, just to be extra safe, the nav lights and strobe lights that are in that wingtip out there, instead of having the wires come all the way out through the conduit in the end rib like they were, which would have been in front of the magnetometer, I moved them one bay in and up and over so they are as far away from the magnetometer as possible.
Yeah.
So I gave it the best shot it could have, and I won't know how good that was for.
You're very thorough about it, so I would imagine that your results are going to be pretty good compared to others who kind of did it more straightforward. But yeah, time will tell.
Stuff. Yeah. But now that you've helped me finish what we did finish, it means I can get back to doing solo stuff, because I was kind of at a standstill. There's other parts that have to go on, but they can't go on until you get all of those other skins on. So now I can do some stuff by myself again, which will be nice. I can get the cap strips on. I can get the side plates on. I could probably put that roll bar on, but as we talked about before, powder coat is hard to get off, and I haven't decided that I want to leave those white.
Yeah.
So there may be more to come there. I don't even know if it'll fit in my blast cabinet. And if it did, I don't even know if I want to know how long it's going to take to strip it all off of there. But I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I did look. I found just a quick search, and I guess to backtrack for everybody, there's a lot of different types, but there's two main basic types of Cerakote. There's the air cure, which is the stuff I've been using.
Yeah.
Literally, you spray it on, let it cure in the air, and it dries. And it's still really, really tough. But the tougher version is a bake-on one. And it doesn't have to bake at some crazy temperature. I think it's like 250 degrees.
Mhm.
And we were talking about the last time you were here, me possibly Cerakoting my roll bars so that they match my color scheme of the plane and don't stand out like those white, powder coated things. We do know somebody that has an oven that could probably use up at the airport.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I froze.
You froze on your own connection? I mean,
Yeah.
your face froze. Oh, and there you go. Let's see.
Am
Let
I
me
still
look.
here? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you too. Wow, that's interesting.
Imaging
That is
Edge
straight up-
webcam. It looks like it's a
Oh, the
camera.
camera turned off. Hang on. Let's
Okay.
see if it's just as simple as turning the stupid camera back on.
people who are only listening to this thing are like, what's the point?
Yeah. What is going on? Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the camera doesn't appear to want to turn on. It's making lots of beepy noises.
Oh yeah, interesting. I wonder. So I just clicked your little thing to see if I could change your camera. It says you cannot change the selected camera while recording is in progress. Hey, so for those of you who are interested in the video side of this thing, or been following this at all, and are repeated tech problems. Last time, so we've ditched we've ditched the recording platform that we were using before for remote recording of the podcast, for a video podcast. And it seemed like pretty good and pretty plug and play, but we consistently had problems and the user interface was a little wonky. So then what we ended up doing, the last video was, in a panic, we did it on Zoom and that worked fine. Tim's back, by the way. I can see you, sir.
See how long. It looks like the camera battery died, even though it's plugged in. Apparently, it's not charging while it's plugged in, so it's probably going to die again. We might have to just go audio only if this thing does what it's doing. But
yeah. So, anyways, we ditched that other one. We used Zoom last time, and then I asked ChatGPT to what are some other good remote podcast reporting platforms that I just don't know about, and so they recommended one. That's what we used to basically edit and publish the last one that we recorded on Zoom, and now we're using their thing. There goes Tim's camera again.
yeah, the camera's just dead, so we're gonna have a black screen for me for the remainder of this. But
yeah. So it's gonna be
yeah.
my ugly mug for it. But we're getting close to the end here. We're 52 minutes into it.
Well, just to
So,
finish up,
yeah.
So we had talked about the Cerakote and possibly baking on stuff. So I just went and did a quick search the other day, and actually found several used, fairly large, like powder coating ovens that people were getting rid of, and some were only like $150.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so that might be an option. You all know me; I can't leave well enough alone, and I do like my tools. So there may be an oven. Who knows? I don't know that I want to get into powder coating or anything, but I might get the more durable version of the Cerakote and strip the roll bars and strip the seatbelt mount, whatever bar, I can't remember what you call that thing, and try my hand at Cerakoting them with something she got to bake on.
That would be
It'll
super
match the
cool.
plane better.
Do you know if there's a significant? I mean, I know that the Cerakote is not cheap. Do you know if there's a significant price difference between the two types?
No, if I remember right, it's roughly the same. And yeah, Cerakote's a little on the pricey side until you compare it to all the different things you have to buy if you're actually doing a regular paint job. You don't
Yeah.
need primer, you don't need activator. Well, I think you do need, it comes with it for the oven cure stuff, but the air cure stuff, it's just one bottle of stuff. smells horribly bad, and that's all you need. And it goes on, it covers really, really well in a small amount. Like you don't need a whole lot
Yeah.
to get pretty good coverage out of it. So the size bottles I've been buying, I can't remember what size they are. I think they're pints, and they're like $80 a bottle.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, sounds like a lot, but it does cover a lot. I did most of the one color interior with just one full bottle of that
Mhm.
stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe that's coming up soon. I don't know. When I get back from this trip, I'll get back into putting back on the remainder parts that I do have up until we get to a point where I got to make a decision like that.
Right. Well, that's
That's
cool.
where
Yeah,
we're at.
I'm very curious about that because it's something that I would consider as well. We're getting close to the end here, and your videos disappear. Your face has disappeared from the video, which means that anybody's watching this, they're stuck looking at my face. So we're going to try to button this up here. I wanted to talk about a couple of sort of housekeeping, podcast keeping things here. Tim and I have been talking about, you and I have been talking about trying to create like an actual format for this thing with different segments. And I think that we both had hoped that we might have had something put together before we even recorded this one, but it seems like we both have lives and jobs, and it doesn't go that way. But the reason I'm bringing it up here is because this is something that we want to do. We want our adoring fans all over the world, literally all over the world. I've seen the numbers, all 12 of you. To know that this is coming, and we're trying to make this a little bit more big boy grown up in the way that we do this, but also we really, really, really want to get your feedback and get your input. Jeff and Paper Gary, which by the way is one person, Paper Gary is literally Paper Gary, their channel. Jeff mentioned our podcast, and I think his most recent video on his horizontal stabilizer the other day, and gave us a glowing review, which is very much appreciated. And if you're not already watching Jeff and Paper Gary, check it out. For me, it's like a time capsule, and Tim as well. We go back and look at where he is working on the empennage, and remember what that was like, and the struggles, and the even just the complexity of trying to figure out the forward spar of the horizontal stabilizer and that sort of thing. So it's fun to go back
memories.
and fun to go back and look at that. So if you're looking for it, it's Jeff and Paper Gary, and it's Jeff spelled in the traditional normal way. So not one of those weird GOFF kind of things. And if you're listening to this and that's how you spell your name, no disrespect. It's not your fault. It's your parents' fault that your name is spelled that way. But Jeff has normal, JEFF. And Paper Gary, you could probably figure that out. So we were thinking about like kind of how we want the show to be laid out and flow, and the segments that we want to include in there, because we basically just ramble about what we're doing on our airplanes. But I think that it would be fun to talk more about what's going on in the wider world of experimental aviation and home-built stuff. We both are, I hate to use the term, but we're YouTubers. We have YouTube channels, and we are consumers of YouTube. So talking about the things that we're seeing out there, and then also getting guests on the show would be a lot of fun and probably hold your attention a little bit better. But the tech stuff, it will get better. It's just, we came up with this new platform, but then also I just rebuilt my computer. So trying to start all over again from the tech knowledge side on that. Anything to add to that, Tim?
No, I mean, the change with the camera was we both decided that I should use one of the cameras I use from the garage on this go around instead of the Insta360. And lo and behold, the Sony cam does not charge while it's plugged in.
Yeah.
So whatever you got for battery is what you got. So I am still in search of a good camera option. I might just have to break down and buy a very decent webcam or something to finally leave in here and do what I got to do. But definitely appreciate that all of you that are actually watching and listening. The suggestions have been helpful, and yeah, I mean, this is just kind of fun to do. It's therapeutic, if nothing else, to be able to sit down and hash out what we did or did not do, and go over all of the mistakes that we made along the way.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? One thing on the camera, I don't know if it needs to be in the podcast. We're going to talk about it anyways. The Insta360, the problem with that was that when you'd move around, it would kind of like look around and look for you. But we know that that's a setting that be turned off. So maybe before you go spend more money on another camera, we see if we
Yeah.
can just change that setting where it doesn't try to chase you around the room every time you flinch.
Every time I lean over and it's like, where'd you go?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think that will wrap it up for Lucky episode 13. You won't see us bobbing our heads like idiots to music anymore because we will be adding the music in post. So instead, when the music plays, you, the listeners and viewers, you guys go ahead and bob your heads like idiots. But here, we won't actually be hearing it during the recording. So thanks for being
We
here.
won't judge you.
That's right. No, well, I will.
No, not at all.
I will judge you.
Maybe a little.
Because I know you're judging me too. That's how this
Always.
goes. Hey, okay. One last comment here. What's let me throw my goggles back on here so I can see what our time is. 59:41 seconds. I have not been roasted one time for the welding thing, and I thought that was the most roasted thing on the internet. So we'll see. I may have just invited it. So that's it. This wraps up Lucky episode 13. Come back for episode 14, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you all in the next one.
That's it for episode 13 of We Are Not Experts, the one where the rivets went great, the camera didn't, and Tim briefly looked like he'd committed a brightly colored crime. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, share it with a friend or someone who owns too many tools and still isn't sure what's recording. We're building airplanes, learning as we go, and trying to turn this into a community. Builders, pilots, and aviation-curious troublemakers all welcome. We're not experts, but we'll be back next week anyway.